Good evening, welcome. How everybody's doing? I have to take a little sip of water to get my nerves calmed down so we can get into this topic of today. We're talking about depression and anxiety attacks, and it's funny, we're talking about that, and lo and behold, am I going through it today? First of all, let me say God is good, and that we got to keep our focus on Him, because depression and anxiety is something that a lot of us deal with, and we may not have the sources in order to diffuse it, which can cause you to hurt yourself, can cause you to spaz out, to really have some real dramatic moments, and especially when you don't have an outlet. Before I really get started, everybody that comes in that are praying people, you're a prayer warrior. I have a nephew that's in the hospital, and they took him Friday, and I'm asking for your prayers for my nephew because he's a good young guy. And so it's kind of working on my spirit, so I don't want to talk about it too much because I don't want to get emotional. But this is a situation where, you can have so much coming at you that depression can slip in, the anxiety attacks can come at you, and people can have other problems that cause different stress on them. Financial, marital problems. They can have drug problems or whatever. Just situations that will put you in a frame of mind where you don't actually know how to deal with everything when it all comes down. And I can only imagine how some of the people are dealing with being isolated from their family members and being inside the homes, not being able to move around and do all that. So, I have to acknowledge that I deal with depression as well. I've been in several situations where the depression has put me down. I remember one time I had it, I couldn't even function, and I stayed in the bed for about 7-8 days. I'm not going to really get into the real depth of it, but it was really, really devastating. I've had it where even with my wife had to assist me in many cases, and I've also went and sought help. And that's one of the things I want to stress. Please do not be ashamed to go get help if you're dealing with depression. This is something that, believe it or not, I was checking the statistics on some things about depression, and it said that more than 80% of Black Americans in the United States deal with depression, one way or the other. And that's because of our situation in this country. When we're not provided all the sources to be able to help us to be able to get help when we need it. A lot of us struggle like that, and that's where we have to make change. When we was talking about making change and changing the way we do things, it's important that if something's going wrong with you mentally, physically, spiritually, you got to go get some help. And so when you feeling that depression building up, I just thank God that my wife's dead. I have some of my kids deal with it. My father dealt with it, so I'm sure that it was something that was kind of like, it's kind of hereditary, because it's actually a chemical imbalance within, your body that causes the depression to take over. A lot of people are not aware of that, but it is. It's, things start to getting off key. If you're not getting enough sleep, if you're not eating properly, you're not exercising, depression can build up from all those things. Taking on a lot of responsibility, a lot of people leaning on you when you don't know how to say no. All these things can build up. one of the things I've helped a lot of people in my journey. I've helped some people who was like on the edge of committing suicide. I wish I had to grab some of the notes because I got some of the letters that they wrote to me thanking me for the support that I gave them. But what they didn't realize was the reason why I was able to really relate to them is because I deal with the depression myself. And it's funny that a lot of times the only way that I can really, really beat it is I have to pray. I have to go to God and ask God to be my leader and my protector, because people will look at me and think I'm crazy, or they'll look at me and they want to talk about me, or they want to try to escalate this situation, not knowing that this is real, real serious. I'm hoping that there's several people that are listening, and I want to let you know I got family members directly that deals with this on a serious basis. So I want to welcome Sam and Tay, Magna, Mark, Durrett, Kathy McKnight. Kathy, I'm glad you're on here. Liz, love you, Liz. Thank you for that prayer today. For my nephew, Eric Wanza, Montrese Wells. And y'all got to excuse me because I'm telling you, it's been a very, very stressful weekend because, you know, we all go through it, and you know, you just got to lean on God. I'm telling you, you got to lean on Him because it's important. You know, I feel so helpless right now because I can't go to my sister and I can't go to my nephew and be that strong back for them because I know they need me. And so, you know, I say it's real talk, so I don't have no problem with showing my emotions. I don't have no problem with you seeing that this is real, you know. And so it's somebody out there that probably is going to see this today or maybe tomorrow or whatever. Know that, you know, you're not alone. One of the things when you get really where you feel like you're down at the rock bottom, know that you're really not. Because if you are capable of thinking that I'm at rock bottom, then you're still in the frame of mind to think to do what's right. And for people that suffer from depression, don't be afraid to get help. Please, don't be afraid to tell somebody, because that'll kill you faster than anything. You trying to hold it in. You thinking something's really wrong with you. But really, it's nothing really wrong with you that can't be fixed if you go in the right direction and seek the right support and help and keep it real. Keep it real with all those around you. You know, it's important. And people who see people dealing with depression, you know, I hope I don't get in trouble because I'm going to speak on something. Because I talk about my depression. My daughter, one of my daughters on here, she deals with it. And I have a son, one of my older boys, he deals with it. He had dealt with it. Me and him, we talk all the time. And I can tell sometimes it could jump on him. And we all have seek some type of support. And so I don't have no shame in me. You know, yeah, I have a psychiatrist that I have to go see sometime, and I talk to her, and we talk about the different things. And see, let me tell you something. In this country alone, I know we struggle as a people, and we struggle with these areas that is not so available for us to get the necessary help. In our communities, we got drugs flowing, alcohol, all those things falling. They don't help us none. The only thing I can tell you is that you definitely have to rely on God. That's the one thing that I know that works. I remember I was dealing with it some many years ago, back in 2010. I was devastated over a situation that was going on with my family. And I was sleeping with a gun and a Bible, okay? And my wife, she wasn't my wife at the time, but she knew that I was struggling. And I remember the phone call that she gave me. She said to me, Rodney, all you got to do is just have a mustard seed of faith. That's all it takes to keep you going. And her telling me that put me in a position that I also knew that what I needed to do was to continue to just pray. So every morning that I woke up, it was I probably stayed in the bed for about 7 days, and I then just reached for the Bible, and I just continually prayed, and I said, my Father, I need you. And I'm not gonna say everything that happened, because I don't give nobody no ideas or nothing. But I know it wasn't my time to go, and I know that God wanted me to stand up, because he got some work for me to do, as I'm doing today, and I'm going to continue to do. I'm going to continue to pray. I'm human. I'm gonna tell you, today was a rough day. I feel for my sister. I know how much my sister loved her kids, man. I mean, I just know that it has got to be so devastating for my nephew to be in the hospital, and my sister can't go up there and hold his hand. That'll give you depression right there. That'll send off something that many people do. And here, it could be so much different from other people's situation that could be in much worse situations than I. You know, at least right now, the doctors are doing what they can to make sure that he's gonna be okay. And I've already put it in God's hand, and I'm claiming victory over it. I'm claiming victory over the way I feel today. That's why I came on down. I was a little late coming on, but I decided, go ahead, Rodney, go ahead, because when you claim victory, you got to keep moving forward. I also was listening to Brandy a little bit today, the young lady that I had on last Friday. An amazing young lady, anointed, man. She is definitely a powerful speaker. And again, I'm listening to her. I got a little more encouraged to come on and continue to do what I'm doing, because I'm a fighter. I'm a fighter, and I'm a God believer. She spoke word over me today, and I received it. And like she said, I got some things I got to straighten up in my life, because God gonna continue to bless me. I got to do that. So what I'm telling you is, you got to do the same thing. You got to come and come to realization what's going on. If you're dealing with depression, don't hide it. Don't be afraid to call people. You got to let people know. You don't know how many people are dealing with that. Why do you think there's so many drug addicts and alcoholics? Do you know that what they do is they try to medicate it? That's what happens. And you see a lot of people out there like that. And this ain't a black, white, yellow, or brown situation. You just check and look at the statistics on how many people do commit suicide. You don't have no color to it. People just, it just comes and it be overwhelming. It be overwhelming. But the one thing that you got to do is, you got to stand firm in what you believe. If you believe in God, you believe in Muhammad or whatever you want to call your God, and you know that it's a higher being than you, you stand on that with your faith and don't give in. God works in mysterious ways. He puts doctors out here, psychiatrists, he got plumbers, he got people who know how to lay bricks. Not everybody can lay bricks, right? It's somebody to take on the positions to help each other to get through things. So my point of saying that is, remember, if you're dealing with depression, that you're not by yourself. Always call somebody. And if you got somebody that's around you that's dealing with that has depression problems, don't look at them and think they're crazy, because they're not. Don't look at them and think they're sick. They're not. They're off balance a little bit. And many of us, we can cover it up. But some of us have it where it can become so overwhelming that you don't know how to get back on track. And maybe you go and you cut off the lights, and then you lay down in the bed and get in the dark. And you kind of, what happened is now God put your body into functioning mode, where your body is starting to protect you. Your body is starting to do what it has to do to put you in a position where you sometimes just wake up the next morning after getting a good rest, and you'll find your way back to reality, and you'll know that you are not losing the battle. You're still in the battle, and you can continue to win the battle, and especially when you keep the faith first. So for anyone and everyone that's listening, hey, we last week, family, and their distance family kind of, I don't know how to go. They're family to me because I grew up with them. I forgot how we may be related, but anyway, they lost one of their elders in the family due to the coronavirus. And I thought about that. I was like, man, I can only imagine how it is affecting so many of them that they couldn't give them the proper homegoing, as we call it, the proper funeral, right? And I can only imagine how many of them is probably sitting right at this moment feeling depression building up on them, and they're not feeling real positive about what's going on around them. All I can say is just know that when you're doing it, you're not by yourself. I don't know if Liz is still on. I called Liz. She's a very, very dear friend of mine. I got right on the phone and I called her, and I was like, because I knew that the depression was building up. My wife was looking at me. My wife had already started telling me, calm down, Rodney, calm down. I started feeling some other pressure from some other things. And I was like, I wasn't at the exploding level, but I was at the level where the depression was building, and it was building, and it was building. And I knew, I say, make some moves, Rodney. And the reason why I'm telling you this is for anyone to deal with it. When you're having these problems, what you got to do is you got to know who to call. Always call on God. Drop to your knees and say, Lord, my Father God, please, in the name of Jesus, please help me. If you're not a believer, just still drop down and call anyway, because He'll still answer you anyhow. Let me say welcome to Desi and Troy, Bernard Jackson, Wanell Wesley, Antonio Scales, Nisi White, Malik, Balal, Rosie Ford, Bonnie Ross. Welcome. Peace and love and happiness to you. I'm not going to be long today because I just want you to know it's a lot of us that's dealing with these issues. Don't ever think that it can't hit you. A lot of times you don't even know you're dealing with it. You just wake up and you're feeling bad. You're thinking, oh man, I don't feel good. But that's because, hey, you're dealing with some issues within yourself and around you. They can affect you a certain way and cause you to have some kind of anxiety attack or some kind of depression to build up on you. I mean, I always look at a lot of people when they doing drugs and they drinking or whatever, they covering up something. I believe that. But what's really important for anybody out there that's dealing with it, know that you're not by yourself and you're not crazy. And the gift that God gives you is the gift of life and wisdom, knowledge, to be able to say, hey, I need some help. Don't be ashamed to reach out and get some help. So, let me see. We got the Healthline, medical information and help advice you can trust. They have a national suicide prevention line. Is 1-800-273-8255. Okay. What I'm saying, know that you can call that line and tell these individuals, I need help. Let me say that number again. It's 1-800-273-8255. What I'm saying is that this is real talk. We're not camouflaging anything. Right now with this COVID-19, this stuff, you can't tell me that it's not messing with you mentally. You're not telling me that some people around you haven't seen them going through a mental struggle trying to maintain their sanity at a level where they're going to be able to bounce back from this. What about the people that lost their jobs? Can you imagine them being locked up in the house? The amount of pressure that's coming down on them? I mean, that's rough. Again, when I was realizing when my sister called me and she told me about my nephew, I was like, man, I'm one, like, I come, as soon as they call, I go. It's killing me. And then what happens is, because I can't respond the way that I think I should, then I felt the depression start to build on me today. And I start to pray, and I said, God, here I'm going to be talking about depression today, and now I can feel it trying to grab at me. I can feel it grabbing at me. And I said, what am I supposed to do? And he said, trust in me. Continue to move forward. You pray, and you leave it in my hands. Know that you can make the difference. As long as you got one little seed of faith. Just a mustard seed. That's all you need. And you can continue to move forward. Again, I tell you, Sir Rod, it's going to be okay. Remember, this is really, really hard for me to read. It says the same
water.
Oh, the same water that softens the potato hardens the egg. We will get through this also. I like that. And as you know, again, we all have these. You know what's funny? I've helped so many people. I've helped a lot of people. I went to schools. I've taught. I got certificates for mentoring in all the schools in the DMV. I've had like 20 kids that was following me around, and I was helping them. I had 90% of them that was around me didn't have to do drugs. They didn't have to do no drinking or nothing like that, because I was able to help channel them in the direction, because I understood that their depression today was dealing with lack of love, lack of communication, lack of that stability. All these things were parts of their trials and tribulations, which was building up for them that caused them to have these issues that we keep private. But you're not supposed to do that. That's when the depression is the enemy. We talk about God, we talk about the devil. The devil loves depression. The devil loves anxiety. The devil loves for you to let it build up and for you to want to give up. And if you give in, believe me, it ain't going to hurt nobody. Well, not when I say that, it wasn't going to hurt nobody but yourself. No, let me take that back. It will hurt a lot of people that you love. So what you got to remember is this. Don't try to hurt yourself like you're supposed to punish yourself, because you're not supposed to punish yourself. You're supposed to seek help. Make sure that what you do is to help you. And then in return, you'll help somebody else. I know many people that know that I suffer from depression. When they see me consistently keep moving forward, they say, yo, man, I know if he can do it, I can too. I was talking to one of my sons the other day, and he gave me some inspirational conversation. He was just saying, Dad, you know, you inspire us, man, you just keep pushing forward. You be trying. I'll never see you totally give up. He caught me one time. I was so depressed, and this was just last year, for real. I was so depressed when my sons and them came up, man. They looked at me. They was like, yo, go in there, take a shower, put some clothes on, you out of here. They took me, we went and had a sit down, and we was talking, and it's something for a father to cry in front of his sons, but the depression was so heavy on me because there was so much negativity going on around me that I was absorbing it, and I didn't really know how to fight back. So luckily I had my psychiatrist who I was dealing with, and now I'm not crazy. I'm just real. I don't have nothing phony about me. I keep it real. I believe I can save the world. If God give me enough wisdom and knowledge, I'm gonna try. I keep that belief in my mind that just keep going, because you somewhere or another you're gonna put that out there that's gonna help somebody, and somebody's gonna benefit, and that person gonna keep on, and it's gonna be a chain reaction, and it's gonna keep on, that all of us is out there struggling, dealing with the depression and the anxiety attacks, and dealing with the low self-esteem. we're going to find ourselves and we're going to step it up and we're going to come back, bouncing back, and we're going to be stronger than ever before. So, again, I welcome Penny, Tawana, Victoria Ross, Anthony Suggs. Yeah. You know what really, if I tell you something that you want to pay attention to, see, we see a lot of people walking around like everything is okay. We see a lot of people walking around like that. But you don't know what happens behind closed doors when they're in the bathroom by themselves or they go into the living room and cut the light off. We don't know how many people actually have this situation dealing with this depression. We don't know how many people want help. They're crying out. But what we do is we look at them and say, oh, they just crazy. But let me tell you something. My daughter, one of them, that deals with it, and she's watching. She don't know every time that I have to deal with her depression, I have to deal with mine. We help each other. My baby will call me and she'd be like, Pops, I need you. And she don't know every time that she do, I need her too. And I need to be honest about what I go through so that I can reveal to her that it is a way to deal with it. I'm not trying to put her business out there like that, but I know that if she was sitting right here beside me, she'll tell me, speak, because she don't want to see nobody have to deal with this alone. It was a young lady, I hope that she's watching, that sent message and asked specifically that we would talk about depression, that we would talk about anxiety attacks. I'm hoping that she's watching. Know that you're not alone. Get on the phone and call somebody. Whenever you feel like things are not going the way you want it, or you expect it to, call somebody. Let them talk to you. So when I was listening to Brandy again today, yes, I got to bring her name up again. The young lady, she's amazing. She's a confidence builder. She builds your confidence when you listen to her. That was one of the things that I liked so much about her, and that's what I know that her and I have in common. I love building people confidence and letting them know that they can move forward. And so I don't care that she's younger than me. I was listening to her because she be throwing it out there, and believe me, it'd be relevant to my life. What it makes me realize is that at the same time, why I do Real Talk is because I am relevant for somebody else's life as well. That I can open doors for people. It's not just about me talking to you. It's not just about me sitting on Facebook Live. I have a production company, PTP, People to People, Power to Power, Power to Think People, for the Time in Productions. That's what my ultimate goal is, to bring guests in so that we'll be able to network. My ultimate goal is to have production shows, which I did in the past, and I'm going to continue to do. I was helping people develop their artist skills to be on stage. And this was funny. Majority of them that came to me, these was kids, had depression problems. And they didn't really know how to channel it. And then, you know what happened? They start to be able to release it, and they was able to start to express themselves through song, through dance, through the growth of things. Welcome. How you doing, Rachel?
I'm doing good. And yourself?
I'm blessed by the best. Another day above ground is always another day to be happy and give grace and glory to God, right?
That's right. And what your girl said, I am what?
I am what I am.
That's right, because God made you who you are.
That's right.
And He planted the seed in you to do what you're supposed to do for Him, right?
That's right. That's right.
And you're designed to do what you're doing right now.
And that's funny because, as much as we talk, a lot of times, I take it serious. I take what I do very serious.
Yes.
I know that in the midst of me walking around, I know some people saying, like, what is up with this? But see, I'm dealing with the reality of some of the things I had to deal with in my past. That's something that Brandy had mentioned again today too. You know, you gotta know who you are. You gotta know where you came from. You gotta know about your history and some of your DNA in order for you to be able to move forward. And so, you know, that's what a lot of us don't understand. That's why you need to know where you came from and who you came from, because you can understand the chemistry within some of the things that you do. My father, I'm sure, had a depression problem because my father used to drink all the time. But in the process of it, I don't know what he dealt with, but I know that he wasn't drinking because he ain't had nothing to do, because he was a very, very talented man. But I many times I found him that he was abusing himself, because I'm sure what it was, he didn't have an outlet. That's my point today that I want people to know, that there is help if you need it for your depression and anxiety.
Yes.
Have you ever dealt with that, Rachel?
Oh, yes. I dealt with it as a child, watching scenarios happen around me everywhere I went. And I felt my, let's say, my peace drawing through an art. I dwell within my art to give me that space mentally.
Yeah.
And then when I took sick, you remember I was talking about how the negativity can cause your body to be sick inside.
Yes.
So when I left the scene and came up to create my own life, all that trauma, it's called trauma, and trauma also affects within you everywhere. As I was talking about frequencies and energy, and the body itself talks to you. And so when I went through that, it came all at once. I didn't know what was going on because I thought I had control, because I worked out, but I didn't eat right. I know that I was trying to clean that habit up, but it caught up with me and knocked me off my feet. I didn't have no more control after that. Only thing I could lean on was God's word and prayer, and then I started receiving visions of what to do. And it led me right back into dwelling in the arts, and a new art form built up from me, doing physical therapy. Actually, I was doing physical therapy that became art for me. Mm-hmm. And as my grandma and everybody, family members probably had said, turn the lemons into lemonade. Look through the badness and find some goodness out of it. And so I said, Dad, she's right. She said, go to the garden and find your medicine. What you sitting here for, moping? And, you know, so she went to the garden and she started pulling up stuff that's good for this and good for that and teaching me. You see? Yeah. So when that hit me, I said, you know what? She's absolutely right. Let me get off my high parts and evaluate what took place with me. Right. And I said, you know what? Art came out of this. I can find a child teaching this with kids. It's about recycling it. He started dissecting. He said, cast your cares on him. Don't put no limit on him. No limits. There's no limits with him. And then I started living, I call it an uncommon lifestyle. It's uncommon because you're living in his grace. And as long as you stay focused on what he designed you for, all this stuff's going to come around you. But see, you know who you are. And you know that discernment that's in you. You know what to do and what not to do with that guidance that's built inside of you that he's given everybody that. But everybody is not in tune like that. Yeah. And they need somebody to guide them to get to that point if they just listen and open and trust and have faith. As you said, small as a mustard seed. Just a tiny mustard seed. And everybody knows how tiny that mustard seed is. What?
That is, you know what? Let me tell you this. What? One of the things that, as you were saying, see, a lot of people are not really understanding where we are right today.
Right.
Because we are in a position where we're supposed to be really paying attention on what's going on around us. I'm talking about everything, to know what your needs are, what your responsibility. We have a responsibility to each other in this earth. And God has placed each one of us here for a reason. Each one of us have a purpose. And we need to concentrate on that and stop letting the outside dominate us to a point where the depression will build up so much that it blinds you. The anxiety builds up so much that it blinds you from where you're supposed to be. We got to be in position to be able to become aware of what God is trying to tell us to do. With me, I've been going through. I'm telling you, I've been having some rough. So my mom was here, right? And I was scared. I was scared because my mom is 89 years old. So I just want to kiss on my mom. I want to hold. I want to hug her. And I couldn't do all that. And so I started going back. And the reason why I'm sharing this because I'm trying to let people know how depression can slip in on you when you're when you're losing your focus. So I found myself, I was worried. I was just worried. I was like, man, please don't let nothing happen to my mom while she's with me. And then I started doubting myself, and I started sitting down. But as you said, and as and I'm John Black, another person I enjoy speaking with, Miss Paula. You remember we had Miss Paula on, correct?
Yeah.
Paula Reeves, right?
Oh, Pamela Reeves.
I mean Pamela. My corrections. Sorry, Pamela. I mean no disrespect.
It's okay. Got you.
Yeah, but she also these individuals didn't realize how they was really enlightening my thinking, and so it made me realize that I needed to continue to do this, the real talk, because it's somebody out there that needs to understand how to navigate through these depression times, these rough times when things are not going well, and to know that if you find something that you love to do that. That helps, because God give you gifts, use them, and it'll help you be able to kind of get your balance back. But more so, know that you got different people that you can call. Again, I don't know if you wrote down that number, but
I did.
Can you say that number for the
I can. I have some notes. While you were talking, I went ahead and started doing research, especially some of the health websites that I go to. When people call on me for assistance or what kind of teas to drink and herbs and things like that. So I put it's the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. That's 1-800-273-8255. The mental health resources is located at the verywellmind.com. That website is also listed. And the healthline.com is where you can ask the questions pertaining to depression, anxiety, what type of teas and herbs and food to eat. And I kind of wrote some of the teas down and some of the food and some of the spices that you can use as tea. And I wanted to share some of those teas for depression and anxiety to help calm you down, to help you to sleep, some mental awareness. So some of them are the chamomile tea, St. John's wort tea, lemon balm tea, the green tea, peppermint, rose tea, lavender tea, passion flower. You can also use turmeric as a tea and put in your food, as well as ginseng and something called holy basil in your food. Here's some other things. Do you remember having fish oil omega-3s, vitamin B, vitamin D. We can also use turkey, and turkey has a chemical inside that help you to relax. Chicken, your milk, your seaweed, sunflower seeds, those are like seeds, turnip, collard greens, potatoes, and pumpkin seeds. So these are things I just briefly written down, but go to the website right there and you can see what I'm talking about. There's a whole lot more. And I just want to share that with you guys that's listening out there.
This couldn't have been a much better time for you to do that. You always come through, always on time. I love you so much. The reason why I'm saying that is because as I was talking to my sister today, we was talking about, we already claiming that my nephew is coming home. I claim that, right? And so what John Black said when I had him on, he said, God gave you everything you need. Okay, so all those things that you pretty much was talking about, they're natural. They're not going to do any real harm to your body. And you can consume them on a daily basis, and it's not going to do anything but help you. I'm a tea drinker. I drink tea every morning. My wife makes sure that I get my tea every morning, and when she knows that I'm really not, leveling out, she'll give me a cup of tea before I go to bed.
Right.
Listen, and I know all of those teas that you called out, believe me, pretty much my wife has probably most of them in the cabinet, especially because she's your best friend.
Yes.
But I wanted to throw that in, but on the real.
I have another drink I got to share with her. I think I have it on my YouTube channel, but I'm gonna do another one so people can actually see me do it, and so they can make their own teas to give you some energy in the morning, or smoothies to give you energy in the morning, and then there's some to calm you down. And I also want to talk about this with you pertaining to breathing.
Yes, that's very, very important.
Life, huh?
That's very, very important. One of the things that when I was and hold your thought for a minute. So
okay.
What happened was it was a lot going on. So I'm teleworking and then and I'm trying to deal with the phone was ringing. My sister was talking to me and keeping me up on what was going on because the doctors were really paying attention, and I started, it was just going back and forth, and I was feeling the pressure, and I was like, and the first thing my wife yelled, she said, breathe. She said, breathe. And so I stopped for a minute, and I took about 2 or 3 deep breaths, and then I started to get my thoughts. Now, I wanted to also let you know that my doctor, my psychiatrist that I go see periodically, told me, she said, Rodney, first of all, she told me, and I want people to know, just because you go see a psychiatrist don't mean you're crazy. She said, what you just got to do is you got to learn what triggers your anxiety. You got to learn what triggers your depression. That's what's important. Write notes on what happened around you and pay attention on what you ate and how you was conducting yourself when that time comes. So I didn't mean to cut you off, but you were so right that breathing is so important. She told me to do 10 deep breaths, inhale, hold it, and then exhale, and do it 10 times. And she explained to me what happens is when you bring the oxygen in, now the oxygen is doing what it's supposed to do, which is, this is God working, that it start to, relax you, and it start to get your brain to get to functioning like it's supposed to, and it give you time to start to rationalize what's going on around you, and it calms you. So go ahead. I know you was wanting to share some more about the breathing.
Yeah, because I've been a certified breathologist, and I got certified with Andy Evans as well for breath and laughter together. So one of the basic form of breathing, because everybody can do this, and I want everybody to hear this technique, and I want you to do it too, and Zena. But I want you to take a thumb, one of your thumb, place it where your navel is, and caress the other four below your belly, and place your other hand on your chest. And I want you to take 5 deep breaths in and out, and you examine yourself to see if both hands are moving at the same time, or is the chest moving and the stomach not, or is the stomach moving and the chest is not.
Okay.
So take 5 deep breaths.
All right, wait a minute. Start back over because I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to do that.
Okay, put one hand, take your thumb, put it inside your navel
Okay.
of your stomach, and caress the other four on the bottom of the stomach there.
Okay.
Your tummy. Take the other hand and put it on your chest.
Okay.
When you take your deep breath, I want you to let me know, or yourself know, if both hands are moving at the same time, or is the chest moving more than the stomach, or is the stomach moving and the chest is not. So you take your deep breath in and release. Again. Release. Breathe again. And release. Take another breath. And release. And your last one. Take a deep breath. And release. Now examine yourself. Which one moved the most?
Well, mine was moving at the same time.
Was it Zena's moving at the same time?
Yeah. She said hers was moving at the same time, too.
Okay. We need to correct that. And all those that listen, we need to have our chest still and just moving where our belly is. And there's a reason why. Mm-hmm. And the reason is we need to use our diaphragm. Remember when you were doing singing classes?
Yep.
In school, they said use your diaphragm. That is what that is there for.
Right.
And as we develop in our livelihood, from child as an infant, when you see a baby, you're going to see that baby is breathing from that diaphragm, the stomach area, and not up in the chest. If you see that baby is in trauma, and that means that they're shallow breathing. People breathing up and down with their shoulders going up and all tight up to the ears, and the chest going in and out and stuff, and either one is going at the same time, you guys are not breathing the correct way, or it's not bringing in a lot of oxygen into your cellular system.
You know what?
Like your doctor said, it will enhance all those cells in your body because you're bringing in the oxygen for the circulation and the blood to flow through, the oxygen going through there. That is the whole point. So,
you know what? I remember when I was in the Marine Corps, we used to get up early in the morning. In the Marine Corps, we did way more than people would between 6 and 9 in the morning. We would do more than what people do in one day. You always say that. So when we would get up in the morning, we would start running. We'd be out running sometime maybe about 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. And I remember as we was running, I knew this. This was when I was much younger. I wasn't breathe. I would breathe in through my mouth, exhale through my nose. Right?
Yes.
And what I realized, I wasn't breathing through my chest. My chest wasn't moving. My stomach, my stomach was off. So when you just brought that up to me just now, boom, I realized that you're right. See,
yes. And you hold the note longer when you do that. So now let me help enhance and improve everybody's breathing. That includes you guys. So now we're going to go back and we're going to try to reverse that. So some people can do it sitting up, but I always ask people to try to do it laying down, especially when you get ready to go to bed. It's perfect for that because when you do this exercise, it will also help you to eliminate, the toxins.
Okay,
So,
wait a minute before you go there. So for this right here, do this help people with depression? Do this help people?
Yes, it can.
Okay, so even when a person is having an anxiety attack, this would.
Yes, it can.
Okay, all right. I just wanted to throw that out there. You know.
It's a technique. It's a technique for everybody. Everyone need to do this.
Right.
So let's put our hands back in that same position. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This time, with your eyes closed, we're gonna focus on the diaphragm only. And in the meantime, we're going to try to keep the chest still, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you breathe in, your stomach going to go out, okay? The diaphragm going to go out full of air. You ready?
Yeah.
When we breathe in, the stomach goes out. And when you release, the stomach goes in. But the chest stays still. Were you able to do that? We'll do it again. When you breathe in, your stomach goes out. And we release it, the stomach goes in, and the chest stays still.
Hey, can I tell you something funny?
What?
That only work for people who ain't got no stomach. Cause I'm trying to tell my chest and my stomach, one of y'all ain't supposed to be moving, the other one doing it. I'm telling you. And right now, I wanted to put a little humor in there. But yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna try this one more time. But this time, for those to advance you, okay, while we get it together to bring the stomach down, that navel is gonna be your guideline, okay?
Uh-huh.
So when we release our air, we're gonna try to have our navel to reach the spine, okay? As far as you can. This is a good one, Rodney, for you now to take care of that problem.
Well, hey,
we're gonna have to do a little bit at a time because there's a time count.
Okay, but hold on.
Hold it in for 5.
You know what's real good? If y'all see me fall out right here on Facebook Live, my wife can come over here and she can help resuscitate me.
Just throw some cold water on.
Okay, all right, come on, let's go. So what we do?
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
So the trick is when we breathe in, our stomach goes out.
Okay.
When we release it, we're going to try to let the air out real slow and take that navel and try to get as far to the spine as we can. Okay?
Okay.
So we're going to breathe in, and then we let go real slow. You there, Rodney? Breathe.
Okay. No.
And then we do the same thing, but practice on that. Just practice on that.
Well, no,
then I'll come back and do the countdown. So we want everybody that's up here to do that first, okay? Especially when you're laying down at night. And what happens? Let me tell you what happens. Your organs, your cell, everything in you is going to get so excited because they haven't received that oxygen intake like that in years. And then you would get to a point where you don't need no music. You just listen to yourself breathe or your significant other breathe, and and you can just go right to sleep.
I need to ask you a question. So how many repetitious moves do we do when we do this? How many should we do?
I say 10.
10. Right.
I say 10.
You know this is funny. So and I want people to know that these things like this is what help you to be a better thinker, to be healthy, to understand your body, to deal with depression and anxiety.
Yes.
These things right here. Let me tell you. See, reason why I'm so excited is because you're my friend,
Yes.
and many times you done told me things that just has taken me to a different level where I know how to take care of myself without having to really go to the doctor all the time.
Exactly.
Which is another conversation we're going to have down the line about healthcare and about men not going to the doctor like they're supposed to when it's necessary. But that's another story. But at the same time, where we are, your breathing, how you breathe is so important. My daughter, this on here, I always tell her when she's really, I mean, my baby, she be like really at the edge, right? And the first thing I tell her, say, take some deep breaths. Take some deep breaths. But now that I understand, and thank you for that knowledge, now that I understand, you know, really, I knew this before, it was something that I didn't pay attention, but you're supposed to breathe from your stomach.
Yes.
We thinking that your chest going in and out is saying, okay, yeah, I'm doing okay. No, but it's a certain way that we supposed to do things. And so even with you telling me that, I realized something that it kind of calmed me because I feel different than what I felt when I sat down here because I had some energy going on with my emotions and everything. And I'm not exaggerating. I'm telling you, I feel so much better even after just that little bit of time breathing and bringing in that oxygen and holding it and trying to breathe properly. So that is so important.
Because your cells is just like your body. Every little cell is just like an individual body. It has organs inside of it, and it needs oxygen.
Well, okay. Let me see.
That's a whole nother story.
Nanny Price, author Trees Sheffield, Aubrey Grant, Jody Gary, Leon Jones, welcome. Tamika Green, Bernadette Lewis, Derek Smith, Kevin Brooks, Josephine Harris, Keon DeWalt. Welcome. Let me tell you, my topic today, it was in reference to anxiety and depression. I want people to know that you are not alone. As many of us that deal with it, you don't understand it, seek some help. Find out what it is that caused your anxiety. I take on a lot of responsibility in my family. I do. I don't know why God put me in that position, but I'm not complaining, but I just thank him. But I just want people to know that you're not by yourself. Let me see what it says. Leonard Jones. It says, "Love what you're doing for the kingdom, my brother. God bless you." Hey, thank you, my brother. I appreciate you. One of the things that I want people to know, this is not a one person job. This is for us to do this together. We need to learn our body, get in touch with our spiritual growth, and definitely get in touch with who we really are. As many times as I've spoken with you, Rachel, you always are a natural healer. Let me see. I'm doing this too. Do this help with talking as well? Right. Okay, so I think, Tawana, I think what you're asking is this, so the breathing is a process when you be talking, how you supposed to breathe a certain way in order that you won't run out of breath, I guess. I'm suspecting.
Yeah, it's like singing.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
You know, you can calm down, and it, you know, like actors and actresses that are doing a part and reading a certain way. It's a way to control the breathing or get excited and breathing. Laughing is breathing. You know, everything. You need breath.
Hey, you always got a comedian somewhere. Hey, let me tell you something, Brooks. Let me explain something to you. No, I ain't about to. I ain't about to have no stroke. I ain't about to have no stroke. I can get up here and run 40, 50 miles right now. In my mind.
But see, how do you improve your thinking?
Let me say, how many should we do and how often? So how often should we do this breathing?
Well, to be honest with you, you know, you're trying to enhance your breathing the way that you were born, okay? You're trying to redirect your breathing the right way from the diaphragm. So I say 10 for the beginning for those that's just starting, okay? So anytime that you're stressed, do it 10 times, you know, until it becomes normal. If you want to do that 20 times, that's when I would talk about the countdown or 10, you know, it's on you how advanced you want to get, but it will become normal to you.
Yeah. And also,
because that's the way, when you were born, that's the way you were breathing.
Yes. So this is, let me explain something to everybody. Every day I learn something new. Every day I realize I have to change the way I'm doing things. And I appreciate everybody that tunes in. I want people to know that I don't just pick the topics. I talk to people and find out what is it that we need to do so that we can grow together. I also listen to any suggestions. Liz, let me tell you, I am working on that to get the Zoom situation. We already in progress with that, so I appreciate I appreciate that suggestion because I know that it's going to just enhance the program, and we are working on it. I also want people to know this. Look, I love for you to comment. I love for you to share. When you come on, hit share, so that you don't know who you're going to save that day. And whatever we're talking about. On date night, we have such a good time. We stay positive. I'm not quite sure. I'm working on, I got a pastor that may be with us this Friday. We're trying to make that happen. And so another female pastor. I'm loving these female pastors that be popping up, boy. They be handling their business. I'm serious. And but what I'm also saying is that we're going to continue to keep moving forward and to better things for each one of us and watch us grow, you know. And all of us that out there are praying people, continue to pray and keep the faith. Don't lose the faith over little mild things. So one of my co-workers, he saw me stressing, and this is what he told me. I know he ain't watching, but it's okay. I took what he said. He said, Rodney, man, don't stress, man. You got a lot on you. He said, man, don't try to fix everything at one time. You can't. He said, man, you know, you got to make sure that you kind of take care of yourself, because he literally said this. He said, you're the type of person, man, you try to help and help people, and you really, really give them all of yourself. So when he said that, I thought about that, and I know that's true. But my point I want to make is that this is all of us in together, people to people, me, you, and them. The power of God first, and through God we receive other power, and we can take that power and we use it in good, with good intentions, and we become positive thinking people. I want people to take that and remember, PTP, people to people, power to power, positive thinking people. It's so important. I appreciate everybody that tuned in. I'm way over my time. and I just want to tell you that I love you. I love you from the top of my head to the tip of my toenail. Okay, I ain't to my toe. I'm going to the toenail. Tawana, you said yes. My what's that? Throat end up hurting. Yeah. You know one thing, that anything that your body is not used to doing that it's supposed to do, and you feel some kind of stress or pain on it, you continuously do what is right, and it'll help you, and it'll make you feel better. It's almost like when you're doing push-ups. You know, when you first start doing them, they hurt. But when you continue to do so, you know, it just helps you to build up. How you doing there? That's Pastor McCargo. How you doing, my brother? God bless you. God bless you. Well, I'm telling you, this is for everyone. Everyone, know this. Yo, you're not alone. Keep God first. Remember, people to people, that's me, you, and them. When I say that, and we talking about something that's kind of like on the negative side, remember, at the end, I always say positive thinking people. Remember that. So people to people, you got some positive people, you got some negative people. People to people, that's what happens. We got the people that's going to teach you. You got the people that's going to love you. You got the people that's going to try to take from you. You got the people that's going to give to you. But what happens if we continue to keep God first in our life and stay positive within our hearts and do what we intend to do with the right intentions to help others? What happens? We get the power start to manifest, and that power become very, very positive for us, which have us to be positive thinking people. With that said, Miss Rachel, I thank you so much for joining. You're always a sweetheart. I always welcome you. I wanted this day to be about depression and anxiety. Let me tell you something. You're not alone. Remember, always keep God first. Try to do what's right for your body. Eat right, exercise, and don't let the negativity of all that around you, whether it be the news or bad things going down, that you allow it to come in and manipulate your life. What we got? It says, don't laugh at me, y'all. What?
She just said.
Oh, we ain't laughing at you, sweetie. And I hope you didn't say that because of the questions that you asked. Because I'm going to tell you something that my mother always told me. She said the dumbest question is the question that you don't ask. That's the dumb question. Anytime you ask and you getting some knowledge, sweetie, hey, you gotta make sure, you know what you're doing and know where you're going, and so the only way you're gonna know is if you ask. Let me see.
Can I?
Great information. I thank you. Go ahead, Rachel.
I wanted to say for those that are going to do that technique, just be aware to have some water by your bed, some tissue by your bed, and some people who smoke or has a cough, when they do this technique, some phlegm's going to come up. Something is going to come up when you corrected the body. Okay?
Yes.
So just spit it out.
Hey, Kevin, I see you joined in. I hope that you caught a good portion of the show. Please remember, go to Facebook. You can go to Facebook and look at the rest of the shows. Look at different ones and go back. Share them, please. It's something that'll help somebody. I'm telling you. It's so many of us around here that needs that help. Some people don't want to go to church. Well, let me tell you something. We had Miss Brandy on Friday. Let me tell you something. The young lady gave us some word that was so powerful. Let me tell you that you received a little bit of church on Friday, on date night. What I'm saying is that let's support each other. Go to YouTube. Hit like, subscribe. It don't cost you anything. What we're trying to do is move forward with production. It's going to happen. I am not going to stop until it do. And I believe that God has put me in this position because he wants me to help me and also help you. So please remember, PTP, people to people, power to power, positive thinking people. And also, hey, I'm like everybody else. Yo, my Cash App, what's my Cash App? Put it on there. I'm just saying, you know what? You can sow into it, because what you're going to see is that I'm going to give right back to you.
That's right.
And all it is about us kept lifting each other up. It costs for me to do this. If I take my phone down and show you, You're gonna see I got a monitor right here. We got a brand new computer that we had to purchase. We got lights.
Yeah.
And on top of that, we got other things that when we move into the real setting of the studio setting, you're gonna see where I'm going with this. So remember.
Guess what? Did add to that, the equipment, I got blessed and received my first 5G phone.
I know that's
Get
right.
ready for the show.
And before, let me tell y'all something else. Let me tell you something for some of you individuals that deal with depression and anxiety. You need to check out Rachel Pope. Let me explain something to you. This young lady, she be doing the makeup and she be doing different giveaways. She be doing things. She be creating images right there while you look at her. Me and my wife be sitting down eating and watching her. And it's funny that by the time we get through, you almost felt like you got a massage. I'm telling you. And that's real. If you don't believe me, you just sit down and just check her out. Rachel Pope, she's an amazing artist. She's an amazing healer. She's an amazing woman. With that said,
I'm giving credit to God. You know that.
Well, we do. We give credit to God, and we just want to say thank you. Yo, I'm out of here because I got to go back and get back to work. I got some work I got to do. So, but I
enjoy all of it. Thank you for participating.
I love you so much. God bless you. Continue to stay positive. And remember, it's PTP. What? PTP. People to people.
People to people.
Power to power.
Positive thinking people.
Positive thinking people. I love you.
Yay.